look at it before we get to the Kanye West interview.
He didn't strike anybody. He didn't hurt anybody.
And the only
Is that okay?
Which area?
Doug Mastriano was at the insurrection, and he was photographed breaching one of the restricted areas. Is that okay?
Which area? Because I saw a video where Capitol officers were taking away barriers and unlocking doors. People. So, I mean,
they opened the gates.
So it shouldn't be disqualifying for an elected official if they participated in January 6th?
He didn't strike anybody. He didn't hurt anybody.
And the only one that died was a protester there, not a Capitol police officer.
Unarmed female veteran. Was
That's the only one that died.
That's the only one who died.
A police officer did die.
No, it was a stroke.
That's not
on site.
Caused by that. That's because he shouldn't have been a police officer. It was one woman.
So what do you make, though, overall of January 6th? I mean, it was, watching that footage, it was pretty disturbing. I mean, there were people throwing excrement
No, it wasn't
at the walls,
disturbing to you because you're a pussy.
It looked a lot like Antifa.
No, it wasn't. Okay, this is actually good. I'm glad I clicked on it regardless, even though originally I was like, nope, not going to do it. But that's awesome. That started off incredibly well, okay? God damn, these motherfuckers are crazy. They're so nice with it. Fucking love Trump supporters, man. They're on a different existence, okay? They're on a different playing field. They're on a different existence. They're like, yeah, it was Antifa. Doug Mastriano's a good man. Remember, you're talking to people who wish they were there or might have been there, okay? We really need to bring back lead poisoning, honestly. We do. We need to do lead again because wonderful. The product of lead poisoning is just absolute wonderful, okay?
Antifa's action.
Yeah, it looked a lot, except on a much smaller scale. It looked the same as the Black Lives Matter riots.
That's what I saw, the similarities to be.
Minneapolis burns, Kenosha burns.
But so it's okay just because one side that you disagree with?
I'm saying Antifa infiltrated.
It's good for one, it's good for the other.
Anybody who harms anybody who caused property destruction, that needs to be dealt with.
Yeah,
but if you're there making your voice heard at the people's house, no less, that's, again, it's a fundamental constitutional right of an American citizen. And people should not be being held political prisoner because of it.
For misdemeanors. That's East Germany.
That's East Germany.
Tactics.
Yeah, that's what's scary.
It was an actual fiery but mostly peaceful protest. And the other ones that were the opposite.
Was the protest legitimate in your eyes?
Administration, I feel like, is using it as their Reichstag fire.
Yeah.
That's exactly what they're using it as.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that President Trump...
Yeah, that's what they're... Yeah, Nazi Germany is here, but not because of the literal Nazis that were prominently featured storming the fucking Capitol building. Those guys are not the real Nazis, no matter how hard they tell you they are, okay? It's the Democrats.
could have quelled the violence that day?
Not him personally.
I don't think so, no.
I don't think so.
It started while he was still speaking. I was actually there. I was there to see what I thought was going to be the last time I ever saw Trump, little did I know.
So did he tell everybody to go and start rioting?
No.
I didn't think so.
No, and it actually, I stayed for the whole speech, like a ton of people did.
They were there! They were there! I called it! They were there! I fucking told you, man. I told you. These people that were there literally will deny and tell you that while they entered, or they won't openly admit that they entered, usually. They're not that fucking stupid half the time. But even those who will tell you they fucking entered the halls of the Capitol alongside these people will tell you it was Antifa.
And then we all headed to the Capitol because he said, let's go to the Capitol and peacefully let our voices be heard. And we get to the Capitol and we're like, what the hell's going on? Because it had already happened.
I'm pretty sure I saw Democratic operatives instigating people to cross barriers.
You were there that day.
Yeah.
What do you think?
No, I mean, why would he tell people to do that? Why did the people who did that not wait around for him to tell them to do that? He said that around the end of his speech, if I remember correctly. It happened before he even said that, I believe. I mean,
I think the timeline, didn't he speak? Because he was back at the White House and then he tweeted. So he tweeted.
But after
people were still there
and stuff, yeah. But it started while he was still speaking, and they talk about the fact that, oh, he didn't do anything for this amount of time. It's like, well, he was giving his speech and.
Why did Nancy Pelosi deny his request?
Actually, we have
several thousand National Guard troops.
Yeah.
Well, it actually isn't in Pelosi's power to deploy National Guard. Well, she's Speaker of the House. She has no authority over that whatsoever. And frankly, I think that's a good thing.
But even so,
isn't she in charge of security?
If there was that great of a risk that she was offered them, then why didn't she preemptively beef up Capitol Police?
Right.
What she does have the authority to do.
Capitol Police are there.
But apparently they were taken off guard.
Yeah.
This is, I really don't know where to start.
I love this because it's like conservative brain rot runs so deep that the second part of that, when he says, like, why weren't there more Capitol Police there, immediately undermines the original point that they're making, which is that it wasn't that big of a deal and it was a peaceful protest. Because it's like, even in your own mind, you do not have a different system that you've created that is consistent logically. The operating logic might be faulty, but you could just lie and be like, well, it wasn't a peaceful protest, but that was also because it was a psyop or something, right? He's simultaneously at first saying it's a peaceful protest or whatever, and then he's saying it's actually Antifa, and then he's saying Nancy Pelosi, like, both deserved it and also didn't take the necessary precautions against it. It doesn't make sense.
Here, it's Nancy Pelosi's fault. It's Democratic operatives' fault. It's the Capitol Police's fault. You go through all of this, Elise, and then we hear things like it's a fundamental right to peacefully protest, that they were peaceful protests, and these people are political prisoners that got locked up. That again, they're saying it just that they were mainly peaceful protests, and that nobody died except for a protester. There are 4 cops who died, and one of those cops died after an interaction here, and his family sure as hell believes he died the next day, that it was directly related to this. I don't really know. This is just one of these moments, and again, I have friends and family members that think like this. I don't know where they're getting their information, but I'm reminded as they're trying to blame everybody from Antifa to Nancy Pelosi that it was Kevin McCarthy who was screaming at the top of his lungs, along with other Republicans who were besieged inside the Capitol building while all of these Trump supporters were going in trying to kill Mike Pence and other people.
After Donald Trump told them to go to the Capitol.
After Donald Trump told them ahead of time to do it. And by the way, the timeline, some of those timelines were just absolutely bizarre, saying, oh, no, this all happened while Donald Trump was still speaking.
Anything to take the blame off of Trump supporters.
But yeah, and saying that Donald Trump couldn't stop this when we know, we just know, was a matter of fact that when he told them to leave, they left. So this is, again, you've done a great job. I know it's disturbing to a lot of people, but I will tell you, this is what I hear all the time, personally. And I just have to stop, communicating on issues like this with friends if I want them to remain friends, because they've been lied to, and they eagerly accept that lie, or they've been duped into believing that these were just peaceful protests, and that breaking through windows and beating the hell out of cops is okay. That's the message that they sent, that this was much ado about nothing. So any more insights on those answers from, it seemed to me, basic, good, law-abiding Americans, like my family members, people I grew up with? I mean, how do they get from supporting Ronald Reagan and George Bush and Mitt Romney to this?
This is why I wonder how. Hey, dumbass. Maybe it's because you were a fucking Republican Florida congressperson that you have a hard time understanding how they got there. But like George Bush in Florida did this, but more successfully. In the year 2000, they literally did this. And the Supreme Court and Jeb Bush allowed it to happen. So yeah, why wouldn't they think that they could get away with whatever the fuck they want? The American government is like theirs to take.
Whew, that is a question way above my pay grade. But I will say it's so important that we listen to this and we don't avert.
Please don't talk with your mouth full.